I'm walking up to the shops, the Kewarra Beach shops, on it's a reasonable Tuesday at the moment, but it was very overcast and a bit drizzly earlier this morning. So I got my first Coles delivery since my financial tsunami hit, so that was nice. I seem to have got everything back on track, being able to order stuff online, and so it was really nice to get that back in the groove. Sort of feels like a bit of normalcy has returned to my life, because I don't have a car. I mean, getting any bulky items, it is good to be able to have that delivery option. So the heavy lifting I always do with Coles, and I pick up additional stuff at Woolworths that I prefer, like their feta cheese, their own brand feta cheese, in my opinion is far superior to the Coles variety. Coles cheeses in general I don't think are as fresh as the ones I get from Woolies, because I have had mould on a couple of multiple slice cheeses, so once bitten, as they say. So now I basically buy that stuff from Woolworths. The Parmesan cheese is okay from Coles. I never had an issue with that. Well, that's a dry cheese, I guess, a lot less prone to things like mould. Heavy items like tonic water and mineral water was delivered today, and that's stuff that that you don't want to be carrying around the backpack, so it's good. So the other thing I try to do now that I've got the credit card, a new credit card that's working, is to get the discounts that are on offer from First Choice or Liquorland. At the moment it's only First Choice that have the deal. It's finishing tomorrow. It's a $15 off deal for up to $150, or anything up $150 or more. So in other words, 10% in effect, and $25 over $250, again a 10% discount if you just go slightly over the qualifying amount. Trouble is that I want to get the clean skin gin, and it actually is $1 cheaper at First Choice, but the catch is they won't deliver it. There's a cross next to deliveries. You can do click and collect, but you can't actually have it delivered, and that's a pain in the ass for me because they're down in cans, and I've found it's difficult to get stock there at times anyway. The shelves aren't necessarily stocked. I've had a few issues with them. I much prefer to get stuff delivered from First Choice, but unfortunately I can't do it because I wanted to actually get some Sailor cherry rum included in a $150 order, but I couldn't do it. So it's a bit frustrating. So hence I have to now walk up to the local Liquorland. I'll pay an extra $1 for my gin, no big deal, but there were plenty on the shelf last time I was there, so I feel fairly confident I'll be able to get the gin today, and maybe some reds, cheap reds. I'd like to have stuff delivered though, although it does generally take over a week to get it here. But if it's bulky stuff, it's great. You get a discount and you get free delivery. It's a pretty good deal, really. But unfortunately, Liquorland's not running that deal at the moment. They will at some stage, but I find First Choice's deliveries a little more reliable. And it was a good thing I got that Beefeater gin cheap, because now it's $50 a bottle. So it was, I think I got it for around 40, and then I got the discount on top of it, so it ended up being in the high 30s. So it's very good value, but not to be repeated for a while unless it goes on special again. Anyway, it's good to get out and have a walk in any case, and as you can see, the weather's pretty damn good right now. This time of year is good. It's not too hot. I actually went to the sports club yesterday and had a pizza, and as usual, their pizzas are very good, very good. So I know Lynn actually enjoyed hers as well. She had the same food as I did yesterday, and it was fairly quiet on a Monday. I usually go on a Wednesday, but that's all changed because Steve and Yvonne are now, my neighbours are now working at Bunnings on different shifts, so they can't make that. Although I will be down there on Friday, but I won't be having a pizza, obviously. I don't think I'll have two in 1 week. I think I'll have something different. So I'll be catching up with them then in lieu of the normal happy hour at Beach House. So yeah, it's a very well run place. Apart from their car raffles, I've got no complaints. I think, yeah, they do a good job. But yeah, I was talking to Lynn's actually going to have a holiday in Bali, well-deserved holiday, and I was toying with the idea of possibly catching up with her up there, maybe getting different flights and different duration for the trip. I'm not sure. Probably it's a good idea, but I don't know if I could swing it. I've got medical commitments here with treatment, and I don't know if that'd be a major issue, but it's a consideration I've got to take into account. And of course it's extra expenses, and I don't know if I'd bother getting the ticket that I normally get, which is when you can cancel trips. I think I'd probably go for the cheap option, but that would set me back around $600 or more for the return flights. I don't know. I'm just a bit funny with money at the moment, seeing I still don't know the outcome of the fraud situation with my bank accounts, and you know, it could be a lot of dough I'm out of pocket if it doesn't go my way. I don't think it will end up like that. I'm fairly confident that I have done nothing wrong. I haven't divulged passwords or done anything stupid with people trying to scam me. I've just been unlucky. Someone's just basically hacked into my my details somehow and made my mobile number redundant and my main email, which has caused all sorts of trouble. But just a process you've got to go through each day. I haven't done anything about today yet. I was thinking of ringing up LD Mobile, but I don't have much faith in their ability to help me, because the last person I spoke to, she was pretty useless. So, but something I need to do. So yeah, just bits and pieces have to be done. There's a few places I probably should contact to tell them that the transactions that they're telling me about are fraudulent. But I have done that with a couple, and ING already knew about it. They knew there was a fraud, so that was one of them. So that was good to hear. They were on top of it already. So, but I think most of the main stuff's happening. ComSec actually rang me yesterday. I was going to call them, and they saved me the hassle. And so it looks as though the wheels are in motion with CommBank. I might get myself back online there in the next week. We'll see. Not sure about ANZ though. They're paranoid about scams and stuff. They have all these notices on online when I was online with them, and yeah, they just make life hell for someone like myself. So many ID checks and what have you, and I'm the guy that's been defrauded. Oh well, such is the world at the moment. Crazy. I mean, I might do the old school thing and actually pay my electricity bill at the local post office. Go to the old school system and try to eschew all the digital stuff. It's convenient and time saving, but it's also open to abuse. So it's a balancing act, like many things in life. Oh, I feel quite good getting out. Definitely need a walk. I haven't actually had a walk for a few days. Probably should go down the beach as well. Still got a bit of a cough, but I'm definitely over the worst of the cold, and it's just a residual thing. But not sucking in Ventolin like I was. You can't do that forever. Probably affects your heart, I'd imagine. Yeah, so there you go, there the hills. They're a very lovely area. It's a nice part of the world here. Very happy I'm here in this part of Cairns. No regrets whatsoever. It's a lot nicer walking down here than, say, from Parramatta Park across to Cairns Central. You never know who you're going to come across. Certainly I've seen a few dodgy characters doing that walk, so you don't get anything like that here. The only hassle I've had here is Trevor, and that was only once. He's a strange character, the old Trev. He gets around, but like I say, I've only personally had any sort of interaction with him once. So wouldn't want to live in that house, right at the end of a main road on a T intersection. High risk that someone loses control and goes through the front window, but yeah, I don't think I'd be happy. I'd be having a fairly strong fence, I think, to create a barrier as well. Oh, still plenty of the clean skin gin available at the local liquor land. It just makes it more bizarre that First Choice, which is the same company under the Coles banner as Liquorland, can't deliver that product to me. Just very strange. And obviously they got it in stock because you can do a click and collect. What are they more likely to break in cartage? I mean, what's the rationale behind that? Ah dear. I don't expect logic in this world anymore anyway. When you get it, you just grab it and cherish it because it's a fairly rare commodity. Oh, I think the bus is about to head off and pass me. Yes, it is. Happy to walk. Like my independence. Yeah, the thing about that trip is that Bali's not my number one overseas destination. I would definitely put Vietnam number one and Thailand maybe number two. I mean, the food's sensational, both of those countries, and they got pretty good bar scenes, but there's only one number 5 bar in Saigon, of course, and that's a very unique operation. And I find the Vietnamese a little less jaded with tourists than the Thais. The Thais have been hammered by foreign tourists for years now, decades, you know, for, gee, maybe 30, 40 years, maybe more. Mass immigration, it changes people, it really does. And so I think Vietnamese, they've been changed, their attitudes have been changed, but not as radically, not as fast. They've got a different mentality to the Thais. It's not like Southeast Asia is an homogenous blob, it isn't. Every country has its own nuances, and there's definite differences between Vietnamese and Thais. And I sort of like the honesty, the in-your-face attitude of Vietnamese compared to Thais. They don't try to be quite as polite. They will tell you what they think, and sometimes it can be very amusing, and very rarely is it confrontational. And overall, I just find it a more rewarding experience being there. It just works for me anyway. I also think they've got a good sense of humour. I think we've got a bit in common with Vietnamese. So I prefer it. I mean, it's not because it's marginally cheaper, or maybe not even marginally these days, because Thailand is getting more expensive. I mean, that won't last in Vietnam. They're developing. They'll eventually get the same level of affluence as Thailand and probably overtake them, in my opinion. That's what my prediction would be. They're very industrious and switched on people. The government could shoot them in the foot. That's always a possibility with any governments, especially ones that you don't, you know, like a totalitarian type government. They can change quite quickly. And whereas you do have the safety valve of our flawed democracy, it's hardly a perfect system, but it does at least provide checks and balances to leaders who just get full of themselves, and eventually the electorate does turn. But that's not possible, you know, in many dictatorships, and you just have to wear bad leadership like they did in Rome, like they did in many monarchies throughout the Middle Ages. Yeah, compared to all that, of course, you know, this is the Enlightenment. Although there are elements out there that seem to be wanting to pull back from that, unfortunately. Whew, starting to warm up now. It's about midday, and nothing like summer, but getting a little warm. It's the only downside of going to Liquorland here is that they open at 10. Really, up in far north Queensland, you'd probably prefer to have them open around 8 because it's just cooler time of the day. And of course, there'd be moral considerations there. They'd say, we don't want people getting grog that early in the morning. So I probably should have bought myself a bowl of port, should have at least found out whether it was cheap, because that's one of the things I couldn't buy before 4 o'clock when I was down Central. Cans. Yeah, you just can't, and same with Smithfield actually, for that matter. You can't buy fortified wines prior to 4 o'clock, but here it's just normal. It's just no restrictions. Well, I'm back on the trail to the local shops. Shouldn't be doing this trip, shouldn't have to be doing it because I'm an idiot. I forgot to actually include my bag of spinach in the online order I had with Coles, mainly because there's a bought before option on the site, but I'm starting fresh, so I didn't have any history with this particular online order. In the past, you use the bought before to sort of prompt you on stuff you need. It's a good idea because people with adult brains like me, we forget stuff and it prompts you. And for some reason I forgot all about the greens. I don't know why, but so I'm going to go up to the local shops and buy some. They're pretty reasonably priced, only about 50 cents more than the ones from supermarkets, so it's a good deal. And just hope that the delivery's been made, because it is Wednesday and it's in the afternoon, so I'm hoping that's fairly safe. Anyway, it's good exercise, so gets me out of the house. I'll have to go up this way to do the voting too, the referendum. So there's a hall, community hall, just down from the shops, and that's apparently where it's going to be held. Only one location in the whole of Kewarra Beach, so a bit surprising. I think a lot of people are going to do postal votes. I couldn't be bothered spending the postage. I just hope that the 14th of October isn't a particularly bad day weather-wise. So that would be the only downside, I guess. But it's a 20-minute walk there. So it's around a 40-minute round trip. And it's just good exercise. You do this at least a couple of times a week. So I noticed that Steve, with his new Bunnings job, he's doing security on the gate apparently, so doesn't have to worry about so much about price. What's this guy doing? Jeez. You're not so worried about product knowledge because he's just doing security, and he's complaining about having to stand. I think they're both finding it a bit difficult because previous jobs were desk jobs, which is what I did too. In the many moons ago when I was seated, and apparently it gets a bit tiring when you got to stand all day, so I can understand that, I guess. Good thing is they don't need the jobs, they don't have to have them. And if they don't like it, they should pick and choose what they want. And there's a guy there that we had drinks with. He's retired from the army, and he just helps with the dog pound, does voluntary work. So that keeps him busy. So I think they've got to have something to occupy them, and that's fair enough. But yeah, I think we all need some sort of an outlet like that. So we'll see if they stick it out with work. But at least they got accepted, and they've had a go at it. So, mind you, it's a fairly long commute, so they've got to go all the way to Cairns, and it's not the local Bunnings that they're working at, which is a bit of a shame. But I think they're trying to accommodate them by allowing them to go in together, because you've got husband and wife working. You know, they do try to coordinate their shifts, which is good, because you know, it just seems silly paying for 2 lots of petrol down there. Might as well pool your resources. Shade after 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm just going to head down to Trinity Beach post office and see if I can pay my my Ergon bill using the display on my mobile phone. It should be okay, I imagine, but I haven't tried this before. I can't do it online because I'm still locked out of my accounts. So it's really my only option. So I'm going to take the old Kmart bike down there. Should take about 10 minutes or so to get there. Hopefully, I don't think there's any real wind today, so it should be quite pleasant. It's going to be about 28 today, so it's a good thing to get it done in the morning before it gets too warm. So we'll see how we go. We'll just take it easy, and quite a pleasant day for a bike ride in the local area. I had no problem paying the bill with the bill on my mobile screen. Well, I just had to make sure they had the barcode, and they were fine. So I got myself a receipt and all done. I didn't have to wait. So very painless, quite good. So, and I got a bit of exercise, and going home will be easier. It always is. So I'll just get the. This is probably the hardest part, is getting this lock back off and then putting it in my bag. It's the heaviest thing too. But yeah, went well. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever, and either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.